Hi almal, welkom terug by Blackout Monday. Dit is so lekker om terug te wees na die lekker vakansiedag gister.
Ja, lekker gerust. Welkom terug ook vir jou.
Dankie,
Die was laasweek was sy vervang met Juliet wat ons hier in die studio gejoin het. Dit was baie nice conversation.
Dit was. Ek het gekyk.
Goeie besoek gewees. So ja.
Maar dit is lekker om terug te wees.
Ja. Julle soos julle weet, Blackout Monday gaan oor ons wat ander fotograwe se werk na kyk. Dit 'n bietjie, ek wil sê ons sê dat ons dit unravel, maar net waardering af vertoon deur 'n tydjie daarby stil te staan. So hoe dit werk, ons het vir julle gevra en ander mense ook gevra, stuur vir ons 'n lys of julle favourite fotograwe wat mooi black and white foto's neem en ons sal 'n tydjie afstaan om dit te bespreek. En dan het ons sekere speelreëls. Ons gaan nooit mense kritiseer nie. Ons enigste job is om vir mense te sê ons hou van wat julle doen, julle inspireer ons en dat julle
met die goeie werk.
Ja, en dat julle werk eintlik baie mooi is. Hierdie week het ons 'n baie spesiale gas. Actually he is English, so we're gonna
switch between English and Afrikaans.
Yeah. So his name is Dave Haak. He's a photographer from Cape Town. He's actually a photojournalist. And you will see on the Facebook page, we've posted this morning, and you had the opportunity to look at it. And now we will say a few thoughts on it.
Yes.
So yeah, Dave Haak is a photographer, and we've watched a lot of his stuff on Instagram, on Facebook, and then we've selected 2 images which we are going to discuss. And this week it's actually a bit difficult because the work is so inspiring, but what makes it a bit easier is our theme for the day.
Yes.
Is black and white silhouette photography. So, just to give it away, in the studio, we have a few opinions of what black silhouettes mean. So, for some of us, which doesn't include me,
we always have different opinions here, which is good.
A silhouette is, in your opinion?
In my opinion, it's just obviously the light source being behind the subject, and obviously the layout of the subject, clearly pointing out what exactly you want to portray. So the outlining of that subject showing, and the light source being behind the subject for me.
Yeah, so for me, a silhouette is basically an inverse of what a normal picture will be. So a normal picture, you try to light the subject, and if you depending on where you are in your photography journey, you will also try to light your backlight. But mostly, if you don't have high dynamic range, HDR, or if you doesn't have a full-in flash, you would normally get a blown-out backlight. So in this case, you're switching the silhouette switches the normal operations of a photo,
to take a photo,
and it will almost perfectly light your background, and then make the subject in front a shade of black. But the rule is you must clearly be able to see the outline.
Yes.
And it must give you an idea of what's happening in these photos. So we're going to jump into the photos now. I'm just going to go to our Instagram, to the Facebook page. And our first picture here we're going to discuss is this picture of a person or a silhouette that is busy doing something in a box kind of thing. So that is, if you look at it, that's your first observation. If you live in South Africa, you will obviously know that is a trash bin.
Yes.
And it's someone either doing something there, in the trash bin. So what we've done is we've asked Dave to send us the can I call it the canvas?
Yes.
The backdrop on which this took place, the scene. Obviously, this is all happening in real life. It's not a created shot.
Yeah.
It's just him standing there capturing the moment.
Yes.
So maybe you can read for us what he said.
I think he encapsulated so beautifully when he said he actually the topic would for the picture would be tough times in COVID. This image was shot in Sea Point. I found this frame to be quite interesting. It was shot in the peak of the second wave. A young man putting himself at risk, going through a trash can to find something to eat, while the more fortunate are using the very space as a playground to exercise and relax. We have plenty of homeless people on the street. COVID has not made it easier on them.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So just for like I said, in South Africa, to give some context, Sea Point is probably our prime spot in Cape Town.
Yes.
It's one of the places where people will come from all over the world to look at the beauty, to experience that. But in that same place is also a place where this story is unfolding.
Yes.
So just to go a bit deeper into the picture, like for me, what works for me is obviously all the lines that happen there. You have that contrast of the rails, which is the separation. Then you have other lines, which is the I think a bench there.
Yeah.
And then also you have this person just towering out in front where immediately your attention go to. And what's amazing for me about this picture is the separation of the shadows, the separation of the darkness. You can see there's like a hole there where his feet is and the trash can meet. There's a hole between his hand.
That's so beautifully captured,
And
Just
that
brings
is
it
what
all
a
together.
silhouette must do. It must capture that moment where you can see the gaps.
Yes. And it gives you the information without saying a word.
Yeah.
It gives you exactly what he was trying to portray in that picture without words.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that stands out for me when I look at it, it's the picture, just the background, or where you see where the ocean is. It's totally blurred, totally washed out, if you can say it like that, or the light source is like really bright. But then just like slightly behind, you can literally feel the ocean behind it.
Yeah.
I can almost say I can feel it. I can feel the sense or the spirit behind it.
Yeah.
And then obviously the black and white, the contrast of the black and white is beautifully displayed, where one half of the picture is just like blown out. And then the next half is just the shapes that's coming through very strong.
Very strong.
If you look at that picture, you can see that he's the guys, even the shape of the cap or the hat that he has on, and then the mask, that's for me the beautiful thing.
Yeah,
you will see there's like a hole or a bend that slightly falls into where his nose and the mask meets, and that is just beautifully captured in this picture.
Also, this is take sharp. The focus is just perfect.
Yes.
And then the other thing which I'm amazed at is the angle. So if you want to take a silhouette of me and I'm sitting like this, facing the camera this way, this will be the point where my face makes the shadow.
And it won't give a lot
and
of
it
detail.
won't give a lot of detail. It won't tell the story.
Yeah.
But if I turn this way and you see me from here, you will all of a sudden see this shape happening. And for Dave to capture it like this, this is not you come there and you click the button.
Yeah.
You actually wait for this moment to unfold.
Yes, exactly.
And that is what, Dave, I want to applaud you for that. Well done, buddy. That is really, really great stuff. That is great storytelling in a photo.
Beautiful. And even like you said, I want to echo that, what you said about just the waiting part, because people usually just think photography is just click, click, click away. But there is a certain time where you, especially with this type of photography, you sit and you wait for that moment, the perfect moment when you can see his hand met like that pillar at the perfect timing.
Yeah.
And the lines are there at the perfect, and the angle which is shot in, obviously at the lower angle,
Lower
when you're
angle.
sitting then higher would tell a different picture.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Fantastic. The next picture, guys, is actually this one was nominated by the rest of the crew, but I also gave it like full points.
Yeah, I love this one.
This
Couldn't
picture,
wait.
I can talk about this picture for hours because it has so much storytelling in it. So maybe once again, let's just read what Dave said.
Once again, Dave put it beautifully into words, not just the picture. He said he named it after the show. This was a shot a few moments back. It was a late Saturday afternoon. I was exploring Woodstock, and I remembered this old facility I once played a table tennis tournament in the 90s. I decided to revisit this place. When I entered, I saw an old man cleaning. It seemed that they just had an event. He was the last guy there with someone else. I asked him if I could take some snaps. The light was quite interesting coming through the window. I really liked how the window created the spotlight effect on the floor with the man sweeping. It was quite a tricky shot with my film camera, which does not have a light meter. I was quite happy with the end result, as I only had one opportunity to make the shot. The man did not know I took the shot of him. He thought I was interested in the architecture of the building. My photography is not pretty, but more about storytelling. I am fascinated with the stories of the streets.
Oh my word.
Beautifully said.
Let me just say, although Dave said his photography is not about the picture, this is an awesome picture.
Yes.
This is not very easy to do.
Yeah.
You have the light creating the 3D effect. You have almost like a silhouette within a silhouette.
Yes.
Within a silhouette.
Yes.
So you have the shadow on the floor, you have a reflection almost of the person on the floor, which the backlight created. I really enjoyed the tiles on the floor, that small shapes.
Yeah.
And I really like what the backlight did.
Yeah.
I would have liked to know what time of the day this was, because the sun really did a great job there.
Yeah. I would agree with the fact that, and I love the fact that he says it's storytelling, because the moment he spoke about, it took him back to when he was there before for volleyball, or what did he say? Table tennis. And I'm just thinking what you said now. It's a story and a silhouette within a silhouette. Like it reminds him of something else, but it also brings the picture out just as it is. And then the light source, as you said, just look at it. In certain dark places where the light filters through from the window, just slightly in spots, just like that, and that brings the picture together to bring dark and light beautifully, like a beautiful dance of dark and light together.
What I also like about this photo is if you decide to look at it and then re-look at it and then re-look at it, every time you see something different.
Yes.
Like what I really also like, and I would like to show it to you on the screen, if my mouse allow it. There is a person, another person in the picture. So you can't literally see that person if you just have a quick glance, but if you look intensely, you will see there's another person there. And he also casts a shadow, and it almost feels like a smaller person, like it can be someone younger. That I really like. What I also like, sorry, I'm doing all the talking, that I'm excited about this, is that the deep richness of the darks and the shadows.
Yes.
It's really dark in places, but it's also really gradient, grey, soft.
And the one thing that's so unique about this picture, and just shows me that it captured every single detail. If you look at it, you don't miss any small thing. Just look at where he's with the broom. You can see the dust on the floor. The dust is even making a shape. And then the shadows like close to the dust. So So all those little things, it just gives it that oomph. It brings it all together.
If you give this a theme or of your own, what will you? He called it after
the show, yes. Immediately, what strikes for me about this is that's the only line I can say is that the show must go on, and the guy is like, I'm sweeping up the last bit of this, but the show must go on. So that's yeah. So let's allow the show to go on in our lives, and let's discover more and more black and white photos.
Go deep, yeah. Deep. Thank you, guys. Thank you once again for Dave Hart. Please follow him on Facebook, on Instagram. We'll put his handles underneath. We're looking forward for next week. Next week we have an artist in the studio again. We're going to discuss a bit about portrait, black and white portrait photography, especially within the in the studio.
Yeah. And we also have some surprising news next week, so please tune in.
Yes. Yeah. But thank you guys for following us. Thank you for sharing this message. Thank you for liking it. Thank you for telling people about it. And also, please feel free to comment on each of these photos, the ones we've published in the past. And also for supporting this movement of black and white stuff. We also want to encourage you to send us some of your black and white images. People have sent me some, and we will gladly discuss it and send you the discussion notes.
Yes.
Or maybe even put it in the show.
Yes.
Enjoy photography.
Yeah. And let's keep on being creative and appreciating each other's work. Have a good day, guys.